All right, so this is Mike Evans. I'm here with my brother James Evans, and Ernie Evans is here too for the first time ever. That's James's dog. James, tell us about Ernie.
He's a toy Australian Shepherd. He's just over 7 months old, and he's throwing his toy around right now.
And he's a good boy.
He's a good boy.
So the reason I'm doing this is I've been talking a lot to old bar friends and people who worked in the industry, and you've worked in the industry for longer than I have, and you're still in the industry to this day. You would have a million stories about working in the business. And one of my favorite stories that you ever told happened a long, long time ago at a bar called Don Cherry's. It involved an American kid. Tell me about this story and when this happened.
This would have been either late 90s, early 2000s. The Canadian dollar was not so good at that point in time. I think it was at 50 cents to the American, or close to. It was the end of the night, after 2 o'clock. I was working upstairs at Don Cherry's, and everybody was coming up to get their coats from the coat check. And this one gentleman, I was still cleaning up and tidying up and doing my end of the night duties. This guy came up and asked for a bottle of water. Sure, it's $2. He hands me an American $100 bill. Now, with that, we also didn't give exchange on it, and we also gave Canadian change in return. I told him this, like, are you sure you don't have anything smaller? He's like, no, man, no, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I'm like, okay, cool. He gave me an American $100 bill. I gave him his bottle of water and $98 Canadian in change. So, in essence, he basically bought that bottle of water for $52.
The $52 bottle of water.
Yep, that would be it. He left without having an issue. We didn't hear any phone calls or anything like that the next day, thinking that this guy might have been, a little too drunk and then realized what he had done. That's what happened. He paid for a bottle of water with an American $100 bill, and I gave him $98 change Canadian. I even tried warning him. He was really thirsty, I suppose.
And that also speaks a lot about what it was like back then. A lot of Americans were coming over here, and the difference between the American dollar and the Canadian dollar, it was a different world back then, right?
Oh, absolutely. It was, most definitely.
Well, talk about you're at a bar, Don Cherry's.
Yeah.
It's the late 90s. How many nights a week are Americans coming over there?
They would have been coming over Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You're getting a good chunk of Americans throughout the weekend. Not too many of them would exchange their money. This was before you had debit and credit cards at every bar. It was mostly a cash business in those days. You're not getting somebody starting a tab with their credit card. It's just cash, cash, cash back in those days. It's almost like you could have used 2 tills back then, like one for American money, one for Canadian. You didn't give American change, even if you had it. That was our policy. You paid in American, you got Canadian change.
Yeah, and at that time, all your regulars would have been Americans.
Oh, yeah. I would say at least 80%.
And you're making friendships with these people, and you're getting to know them. So where are they from?
I remember Dearborn, in the neighboring areas. They're not coming more than 45 minutes away, I would say. You're going to get some from Ohio. You're going to get some from
Indiana sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely Indiana. My Thursday night regulars were pretty good guys and girls.
Were you able to keep any swag or anything Don Cherry's from that era?
I think I have like a matchbook. I might have a t-shirt somewhere, but yeah, that's a long time ago. That's a few moves in between as well.
Well, thank you so much for recounting that story. It's one of my absolute favorites. Thank you.
No problem.